Alright, the time of recording is Thursday noon Eastern time, and in about 1 hour, the new servers were supposed to open. But obviously, that did not happen. I thought I would make a little video showing what happened the last few days, why everything is not going as planned, and we're mainly going to be looking at Cordovan's messages. You can see the first one at the top. So this first message that I've found was actually Tuesday. It's 6:50 p.m. That's my local time. That it's I'm 6 hours ahead, so this would be 12:50 p.m. for like local time, EU time, or NA time, I should say. So this was just after the patch on Tuesday, the 43.0.1 patch. And that's when the free character transfers to the new game worlds begun. So on Monday, they opened for like VIPs to secure 3 names. On Tuesday, as we can see, this message from Cord is when the character transfers actually opened, so people could open their clients and start doing their transfers. But then, only 12 minutes after that message, you get a message from Cord saying, "The transfer wizard is obviously being hit very, very hard. Have patience with it for now. If you are in queue, including an hourglass, just leave it there and wait." Oh, by the way, all these messages are from the official LOTRO Discord server, and Cordovan has been posting them in that server. So I wanted to get that out of the way. So what he's referring to here is when you open your transfer, get like this hourglass behind the whole transfer process, and it's not supposed to stay there for like a long time. You're supposed to see it. It's like a loading screen, and then you're supposed to be able to do your transfers. But I tried opening it myself, and yeah, to put it mildly, like it just stays there, nothing happens, and there's clearly a lot of load on the servers, which obviously the servers aren't good enough. The tech isn't good enough to handle this kind of traffic from all the players. So at this point in time, Cordovan's advice was just to wait, give it time. But then, some 20 minutes later, they decided to pause the transfers to give the current transfers time to catch up. Which, you mean, is never a good sign when they have to pause the transfers to let the system catch up. It's not a good sign at all. And then a little bit later, he said that all transfers are temporarily closed to the public, and they're allowing the database to resolve. If you have not already completed the transfer process, there's no need to sit there and wait. So basically, they shut down transfers just to let the database catch up or finish whatever is in queue, which clearly is a sign that they weren't really ready for this traffic, as I said. And then a little bit later that day, like 3 p.m. server, the transfer service was once again available. Please be aware that the server is under heavy load, so please be patient. And knowing LOTRO players, there's a new 64-bit client server to transfer to. There's names to be secured. I don't think people were gonna be patient with this one. So of course, everyone's gonna try to transfer. But planned it. I've seen people saying that they took time off work to do this, which is a bit crazy to me. But I mean, if you really care about your names and want to try to get transferred as quickly as possible to secure your names, then sure. A couple of hours later on Tuesday, we then got the news. New 64-bit server opening date, Thursday, March 6th, 1 p.m. Eastern. So originally, servers were supposed to open on Wednesday, so their solution to the problems with the transfers was simply to move the date 1 day ahead. So instead of Wednesday, the now new date would be Thursday to open. Their solution was simply to move the day by 1 and just let the servers let the transfers take their time to complete. Cordovan did say there's some good news. Transfers are being successful. and the system is chugging through its queue slowly but successfully as far as can be determined. And then he talks about some other issues the game was having, but it seemed that at this point the transfers were working, but slowly. So then on Tuesday, like 8 p.m. in the evening for people, like server time, US time, character transfers were once again enabled, and Cordovan did notify that they were monitoring the service, so they wanted to see how it goes. They did enable the transfer, and at this point they were hoping that everything would be fine. They did once again reiterate that the opening time was moved to Thursday, but then again, pretty shortly after that, we have temporarily disabled the transfer button while we allow for the transfer system to process current requests. This shows that it was open for a little bit, and they saw that it was too much for the systems, so they decided to cancel it to let the transfers that were already in queue go through. And then Cord posted late on Tuesday night, around like just before midnight, it looks like we're unlikely to be able to reopen, so basically telling everybody go to bed. We're not going to do anything until the next morning. He then put out an official statement telling that everything's temporarily disabled, so we'll get more news tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, 5 p.m. server time, we got a big official post from Cordovan about the timing information, what's going on, and they do recognize that the pace of the transfers has been too slow, making adjustments for the opening date once again. So then the new message is that the new 64-bit game worlds will open on Friday, March 7th at 1 p.m. Eastern. So tomorrow, about 25 hours is when they're scheduling the opening. And then of course they're going to adjust the transfers from the Dark Worlds and everything else that's happening after. Ord then said that yes, the transfer button is currently disabled. This was a Wednesday, by the way. And then he expects the button to remain disabled until about 8 a.m. Eastern on Thursday. That means they were aiming to open this at 2 p.m. my time today. And let's see what happened with this 2 p.m. opening time. He did post another message talking about housing, and it seems like housing will be unavailable when they open the servers. They will open housing at a later date. I don't know exactly why this is happening. Is it because the transferring with the housing items and everything is putting stress on the servers? Or do they want to stop people from stealing houses? Not sure. To me, it seems like it probably has, like the slow transfers has a lot to do with housing. Maybe that's why they're disabling housing for now. He then did a little post about emails being slow. People are waiting like 20 hours from when they start their transfers to when they get a completion email. And then it finally happened. Thursday came around, 8 a.m. server, which was 2 p.m. for me. 19 minutes after scheduled opening time, we got a message from Cordovan. Morning. So we enabled the button, and it took about a minute for things to fill up. So people were waiting. They enabled the transfer button. 1 minute later, like the whole system is clogged again. Everything's filled up. So what's the solution then? Everything's filled up. Or it did say that on the plus side, it did fill up with actual transfer requests. A bunch of people did get in. They're working on things, blah, blah, blah. Or it did admit that the transfers are much slower than they would like. Obviously, they didn't expect this, clearly. But they're doing their best to get as many transfers completed as possible. They've done a lot of work over the past 48 hours to speed things up, but the demand is still overwhelming. I wonder what the work they've been doing. I mean, they disabled housing, maybe that's some of the work. I mean, I'm sure they're looking at solutions to make the transfers go faster. It seems to me that the tech is just simply not able to handle this many transfer requests at one time. And then at like 9 a.m. server time, 3 p.m. my time, Core did put out a message that says he's spoken to some of the engineers and the devs who are actually working directly on this. And he said, we've had a refresh of our queue since overnight, so anyone who began a transfer yesterday has either successfully or unsuccessfully transferred. At this point, if you have been waiting in a queue or a similar state, you can assume it either was successful or failed based on an email receipt. I'm a little bit confused about this. Like, since they had a refresh of the queue and it cleared up a bit, that means either you transferred or you didn't. That's kind of obvious, in my opinion, so a little bit confused about what this message is supposed to say to the players. I mean, it shows that the transfers are going through, or not going through, but the system is actually working on the transfer requests. But, I mean, obviously, you are successful or you're not. That's kind of obvious. But in any case, that was the message that was put out. And then another message, we know that all of the transfers from yesterday either completed or failed. Okay, I mean, it's kind of funny to me, but you know, it's good at least that they know, they get some information. At least the system is working. Well, it's working slowly, but you know, good. They at least know something. Cordovan then reiterated that the server is expected to open on Friday, 1 PM server time. I personally have my doubts. Like, after seeing all the postponing and everything happening right now, there's always a chance that this won't happen and they have to postpone again. Time will tell, but for now we just have to trust Cordovan and SSG on their words. Guess we will see tomorrow. Hopefully everything works out and people should be able to play on the new servers this weekend. That's the dream scenario for everyone, of course. So that's the situation right now. Finish up this video, I'll just show the updated post of their official Q&A for 64-bit servers. Like I said, on Monday you were able to log into secure names. Then on Tuesday, everything opened. Then it had a lot of issues, and the planned Wednesday launch got moved to Friday, 1 PM Eastern tomorrow. Hopefully people will be able to play on the new servers. Hopefully transfers will be moving a bit smoother than they currently are, and the transfer button will be available. And then on Wednesday, March 26th, the servers between 64-bit worlds will start opening on a weekly rotation. And then because of all the postponing and all the things that happened, the transfers from the dark worlds that we're gonna get have a date to be determined. So we're not sure about that yet, but hopefully everything works out. Hopefully this they can figure out why everything's so slow and people can transfer to the new servers. I know that personally I will not be transferring maybe until next week. I'm just staying calm. I'm gonna stay on Arkenstone for the foreseeable future until everything seems fine. Then I'll move to Glamdring with most of my other friends, people I play with, and it will be cool to maybe get to see new people from the other worlds. But that was my little update about the situation, the transfers. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing, as it really helps out the channel. And if you like LOTRO, I would really recommend joining my Discord servers. You can also support me directly through my Ko-fi website. If you're playing or looking to play Lord of the Rings online, there is one place you need to be. The Ghyniverse is a Discord server created for the community of the players of Lord of the Rings Online. The server is getting close to 7,000 members, and in this server you'll find tons of helpful information. There's monthly giveaways, easy access to patch notes, you can keep up with my YouTube videos, my streams. If you're a streamer, you can ask for the streamer role and you can announce your streams in the other stream channel. There are discussion channels for pretty much everything, every class, monster players, But the best thing about this server is probably the gearing resources tab, where you can find anything from trait lines for every class, every build. There are stat goals where you can find out what stats you should aim for on your characters. Really helpful information about drop rates from instances, as well as screenshot from all the new loot that appears in the game. If you enjoy LOTRO, you should definitely consider joining this server, and hopefully I'll see you in Middle Earth. If you were part of the Ghyniverse already, you might have noticed that another tab appeared at the top, the LFF server. This server is a brand new server that I created, the LFF Ghyniverse. In this server, you can select which servers you want to keep up with, and once you select your server, say you select Arkenstone, you will see the LFF, the kinship advertisement, looking for kinship and trade channels, and there's also voice channels if people want to use those. The LFF channel is basically a looking for fellowship channel where people can post if they need players for the runs, and this way people don't have to be logged into the game to see the chat. They can just instead get a notification on their Discord. There's also a kinship advertisement page where kins can post their kinship advertisement and have people join their kins, and you can also post in the looking for kinship chat if you're looking for a kinship, but make sure to take a look in the kinship advertisement first and look through all the kin to find a suitable kin for you. There's also a trade channel if people want to buy or sell stuff that you can use. Hopefully you'll consider joining this server to bring the community even more together, not just in the game, but also outside of the game.